Australia's population has passed the 27 million mark. According to the population clock of the Australian Bureau of Statistics, we reached the milestone yesterday. It's exceeded the predictions of the first intergenerational report back in 2002, which expected Australia to reach 25.3 million in 2042. In the past 12 months, the population increased by more than 624,000, 41% higher than the previous record in 2009. For more analysis, let's bring in live now Demographer Mark McCrindle. Mark, really appreciate your time. Thank you. As I alluded to, we've reached this milestone much earlier than many had predicted. What's behind the recent surge?
Well, the biggest part of the population growth at the moment is overseas migration. That used to make up about 60% of our growth, with about 40% being natural increase. But in the last 12 months, record migration increase, and it's now 83% of the total population growth. So definitely it's a migration-led population boom.
And where are they going? Which states are growing the fastest?
Well, Sydney and Melbourne are the gateways to Australia from an overseas migration perspective. But, by the time you look at a state level and the internal migration, you've got states like WA and Queensland growing the fastest. So they're growing not only through overseas migration and natural increase, but that internal migration flow as well, as people look for affordability outside of New South Wales and Victoria.
So, Mark, is that level of population growth, is it sustainable, do you think?
No, it's not. It's way beyond even the average that we've had over the last 10 years, which was higher than it was prior to that. So as you mentioned, we beat the old record by 41%. I mean, to have an increase in population of 624,000 people in a single year is a new record by a long way. We used to be adding 1 million people every roughly 4 years. We're adding them now every, little over a year and a half. So it's pretty hard to see how this number can be sustainable, particularly on top of housing shortfalls, infrastructure bottlenecks, challenges around schools and hospitals, and, tip more than 500,000 extra people into the mix every year, and it makes some challenges indeed.
A lot of us will remember the debate that we had back in the Rudd years about creating a big Australia. What is the forecast now in terms of just how big we'll be getting over the next decade, and how much longer until we reach the 28 million mark, do you think?
Well, 28 million, if people missed yesterday's milestone, you don't have to wait too long. Next year, we hit another million milestone at 28 million, probably around August, based on these current growth trends. So that's the speed at which it's coming, even though the federal government is paring down some of the migration numbers, growing at 2.4% per annum as we currently are, which is 3 times faster than was predicted in that 2002 report, just shows how we really are overshooting the growth markers. So instead of hitting this milestone in 2054, as was forecast, in that year, we'll probably be closing in on 40 million, probably the high 30s. That's the growth trend that we're currently on, even if the migration numbers are pared back slightly.
Goodness, plenty of food for thought there for our political leaders in Canberra. Demographer Mark McCrindle, really appreciate you making the time. Thank you.
Thanks, Ash.